Hey, folks. Obviously, outcome not what we wanted. We played some of the worst football I've seen played in quite a while, followed up by some of the best football I've seen played in quite a while against a very, very good opponent. Um, Beyond proud of how the guys battled back to make it 38-38. Disappointed we didn't finish it, didn't make the plays we needed to. And as everybody that's paying attention to our program, beyond frustrated about how we're starting games. We're not doing something new or miraculous. We have been doing very similar things for years and had different results than what we're getting, but we're clearly not playing well early. We're putting our heads together as a staff about how to settle this group down and get better execution out of them early in the game so we can win. We've shown during the game and especially late in games that we can play really, really good football. But we've got to get it consistently for 60 minutes. It's not happened yet. It's our job. It's my job to find that. And so we're gonna talk and put our heads together and see if there's some things strategically we can do. The plans are going into the game with the first quarter in mind. It's not just random. I mean, we are trying to get them as comfortable as we can and put them in a position to be successful. And right now we've been getting overpowered. That is one thing that is clear, physically overpowered early. But then the execution has been a piece that we've not gotten until guys tend to settle down. So we're going to continue to work on it and try to get it fixed and hopefully get it fixed this week so we can play a good 60-minute game and find a way to get a win.
Jason Walker with Cache Valley Daily. Obviously, you've talked about putting your heads together. Are there any ideas you guys have come up with so far as execution early on, or is that something you're going to have to try and figure out over the next week or so?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an answer for you right now. It's definitely something we're talking about. We've always scripted things, relatively early in the week to try to give our guys familiarity with what we expect the first drive of the game to be. Taking the same approach in the past and have had seasons where we scored on the first drive 70% of the time. Defensively, obviously you're having to react to what you're going to see, but I don't know that we've been extremely surprised by what we're seeing. We just haven't executed to stop it very well. It's a combination of all three, all those things. The catching the ball in the end zone on the kickoff returns, we wanted to be aggressive, but we can't be aggressive and careless. I mean, it's as bad a quarter as you can play, and we've seen mistakes early this season out of inexperience. But I don't have the answer right this second. If I did, it would make things a lot simpler. But whether it's restructuring some areas in practice, whether it's maybe something game day that we do a little bit differently, maybe it's a combination of several. We're going to look at all things that we can and see what it takes this particular group to come out and play better early, because what we're doing right now that has worked with other groups in the past over the last 20 years, it's not clicking for this particular group. And we got to find what works for them and find a way to help them be more successful early.
Cal Lewis at KBNU Radio. Are you seeing in Trovon somewhat like Devin Tompkins was for you the first year you were here, Coach? I mean, is he playing like that? Do you use him the same ways that you did, Tompkins?
And there's a lot of similarities. Their skill set's a little different. But yeah, they're both equally as important to what we do. It's strange. At times the ball's not even really designed to go where he's at, but based off of how we play in our splits and our spacing, he's still able to get himself open and be a target for us. We're not trying to push the ball to him every snap. It just, good players get open. Quarterback has confidence in him. The matchup's a problem for people because of where he plays and how we move him around. But I've been super pleased with him. We expected him to play well before the season started. Not sure that a number ever came to mind. Other than that, we wanted him to be heavily involved in each game plan and felt like that he could be a difference maker, and I think he is.
Jason Walker again. With McKay Hilton, do you feel like he's kind of helped open up the offense a little bit? It kind of feels like the passing game's a little more dynamic. Do you feel like he's helped the passing game advance?
Well, I think the reason that we wanted to move to him was just his confidence in moving through his progressions and being able to reach all the areas on the field and being very comfortable in the pocket at working through 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 check down, whatever that may be. That was an area that Coop was just a little bit, he was struggling with, to be truthful, of making that immediate decisive decision, working through progressions comfortably and getting the ball to the guys he needed to. And I think you saw in this particular game, in a very hostile environment against a extremely good defense, he was able to do that relatively well. We didn't protect great all night. We struggled to keep him upright. We've got to do a better job of that. And he made some mistakes as well. He got jittery. It was tough to stay in the pocket, and clearly he threw a ball he cannot throw. The interception down in our end zone cannot happen. But he does open up the field in a way that we weren't getting before. It does make you defend every player, and he is confident in his ability to get the ball where it needs to go on the field. And I think that does open up our offense. That in addition to being able to run the ball effectively.
Coach Patrick Mayhorn from the Ag Ship. You've talked several times this season about wanting to see this team grow up. Have you seen that these last couple of weeks? Are you seeing them take those steps that you want to see?
I mean, we did a lot of really good things once we, got past the debacle of the first quarter. I mean, a lot of really positive. You don't get back to 38-38 from that deficit without a lot of positive things happen. We're just not seeing consistency. We're seeing great effort. That's still been the same. They play hard. They don't quit. But we've got to find consistent execution, and in that sense, we're not even close. But tons of things to build on. We don't want to be building on things coming out of losses every week that we feel like we're capable of winning.
Anderson, Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. I just kind of wanted to ask you a two-part question about the health of the linebackers. MJ was banged up. Gavin and Bronson played more earlier in the season. It's been Cole Joyce has played more lately. Is that more of are those guys a little bit banged up, or is Cole just maybe kind of overtaking them a little bit, or just kind of what's the health of the linebackers right now?
Well, they're pretty beat up, to be truthful. MJ didn't finish. Bronson has been out due to some injuries, and that's kind of being reoccurring. Stinger's mainly just trying to get him past that point where when he does tackle that he's not going to have a shoulder and neck issue. Clearly, Switzer has moved up to that wheel position and playing more there as well. And so you've seen a lot more of Cole Joyce in the absence of Oliveo with Max going down. I mean, the next guy's got to step up. And based off what offense we're playing and what style of game we feel like it's going to be, they're trying to get the right guys on the field to fit what that looks like, and trying to teach and get Switzer caught up very, very quickly. We feel like that fits him and us better with him closer to the box, but it's also a position that he's not played. He's been around the box, but not in it, and he's going to have to see things and react very, very quickly. I would like to think that we'll get MJ back. I don't know. It's too early to tell. Oliveo, Bronson should be getting better. He's getting better every day, but is he full speed and 100%? And just kind of where Gavin, they're all beat up and bruised, trying to get through. That's the nature of a physical start, which is what we've had.
Again, I've got offensive line. You changed the lineup. Was that based on performance? Was it based on injuries in this game? And then how have you evaluated those guys? And then obviously you've got to protect the quarterback more, and that's part of that. So how are they playing? And how's even on the defensive line playing as far as physical up front?
Well, I don't think we're winning the physical battle up front early, especially. Now, we did tend to get better as the game goes on. I think our conditioning shows and how we build this team in our offseason. But we're struggling to match the physicality of our opponents early, with the exception of Idaho State. The other three opponents are bigger and have been more physical, more powerful up front. We got to continue to do a better job of that. You do see those matchups look better and better as the game progresses, which is something we know we've got to hang on early and then be explosive and dynamic later as the game goes on. We'd like to change that curve. I'd like to speed that up. That's called recruiting and development, and we're dealing with that every day and every year. We've used a lot of different combinations up front on the offensive line, some due to injury, some due to just guys making mistakes, some due to still trying to find who is the best guy at that particular position. I think we've been rotating about 8 different guys, and we have had some bumps and bruises. I didn't think we played very well early. We didn't play well early on the offensive line. We struggled, and really the defensive line as well. That's why the game got the way it was. I'm proud that they continue to battle, and we did little by little chip away at them and start becoming more competitive, more explosive, more dynamic on both fronts. But it was too little, too late. It just wasn't enough, and we can't expect McKay to get through a season if he's going to get hit as often as he got hit. Now, we knew they were good up front. We knew it was going to be a challenge, but we got to do a better job. That's something we've got to continually improve at.
Mayhorn again, you've got another physical opponent coming up this week. UConn, 2 really good halfbacks. They like to run the ball. What have you seen from those guys, just early impressions so far?
Yeah, massive. Really, really big. They were when we saw them last time. Talking to the guys at Duke, they said the same thing. Just big, long, physical football team. I think our quickness and speed will be an advantage, but size is going to be in their favor. It's the exact conversation we've just been having. We're going to have to match up to their physicality early, use our speed and quickness to frustrate them, try to minimize some of those mismatches, and hopefully play with tempo and speed and fatigue them. It's our schedule's that way all year. This is cut and paste. Every week we go into it. Where we're at, what we're able to recruit, how we have to develop, what attrition has done to us in some areas. This is our challenge, and we've got to get better at it. And so we've got to recruit it, build it, develop it, all the above. Right now it's showing, and we got to find a way to overcome that.
Again, then on Connecticut, last year you're down 14-0 to them early in the game here. You saw their quarterback, I think, in the first series last year, and then he got hurt. And then how would you compare last year's UConn team to what you're seeing right now?
Well, same thing. I think they're really, really big, long. They're committed to run the ball and RPOing you and play action passes. I know they played a couple different quarterbacks. They've done a good job recruiting running backs. They're big and physical on the defensive side of the field. They were more physical than us early last year. It took us a while to kind of fatigue them and start getting our run game going. It took us a little while to be able to slow them down. I mean, it was a war of attrition, and we found ourselves in it and found a way to win. I think it was a lot better win than people gave us credit for at the time. I know their record doesn't look great, but they've been in every game. This was a tough game against Duke. That's a really tough opponent. I think we're all aware those guys are playing great football right now with that roster. It'll be a challenge early. We've got to find a way to be better in the first quarter against them, against the big size, length, committed run game, play action pass, big defensive front, linebackers as well. We got to improve this week, and it's gonna show against a very similar defense than what we've seen against Iowa and seen against Air Force and seen against JMU in terms of size and power.
At KSL.com, it seems like obviously you got Terrell Vaughn in your receiver unit is doing pretty well, but those other guys are not doing too bad themselves with Micah Davis, Jalen Royals coming out with a lot of catches. How do you feel overall about your wide receivers right now? Yeah, we were excited going into the season about what that room was capable of. We recruited heavily with both Micah and Colby Bowman, who's come in and given us some good snaps. We knew what Terrell was capable of, and I think as the season progressed, we saw more and more what Jalen Royals really could be. He had a great spring. He's coming into the season with a ton of confidence. He's got speed. He can elevate. Micah's made a couple of the best catches we've had in a very long time. Colby Bowman is starting to show up, had a big touchdown. We feel like there's a lot of different combinations we can put out there. We can be in 3 wides. We can be in 4. Brock brings a lot to the table. And it could be Colby or Micah or Otto or Jalen. We've got a lot of versatility. That's not something that we had a year ago. We felt very, very handcuffed a little bit last year with just the lack of depth and experience at that position. And now we've got a lot more depth. And even guys you haven't seen yet that we feel are going to be really good players by the end of the season once they've had just a little bit more time to grow up in this offense. And both Grant Page and Arcellus
Johnson, but even Kahanu Davis has shown some value. We've got guys to go to. I like where we're headed in that. We just got to keep working to get better.
Mayhorn again. I want to ask about Sir Mel's, who was on the field quite a bit on Saturday. Seemed like he played really well. What did you see from him, and what do you want to see from him moving forward?
Yeah, just continued growth. I thought he did a good job. We'd not gotten a ton out of him up to this point. Just needs to grow up in the defense. We got a big play. Cliff Mosley, I think, created a turnover as well. I mean, all those guys got to find a role and take some pressure off. We've had Kessie out, in and out with injury, Halle in and out with injury. Those guys, we brought them in to grow them up. Now, you don't know how fast that learning curve is going to be, but I thought Sir Mel's, he had some quality snaps. Cliff had some quality snaps. Hopefully we're going to get more and more from those guys, including George and the rest of that room.
Coach Anderson. Oh, sorry.
Jason, you're up. Go ahead.
I'll wait. Okay. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to ask. I think his name is Jackson. I mean, I did my research earlier on. Their senior linebacker had 260 tackles the previous 2 seasons. He's a tackling machine.
Yep.
What do you see from him, and what have you seen from the rest of the UConn defense?
Well, just the first thing you see is what we've talked about, the size and strength, their ability to keep their linebackers free, taking up double teams and really letting them run free. And Jackson specifically, just downhill player, nose for the ball. I think they're really well built defensively. That's why we struggled against them early last year, just because how physically they are built and how well they play downhill. If there's an advantage for us, it's quickness and speed and space. We're gonna have to try to utilize that to the best of our ability, but they make that difficult. They do a good job, and I think their linebackers and their front. I think their front in particular is really, really solid.
Question I was going to ask you, Coach Al, again. Did you have to spend extra time with McKay after those first couple of series when he come off the field in his first start and things like that? I mean, can you give us a little insight into that? Because, I mean, obviously he did respond in the game.
Yeah, a little more time, just trying to calm him down a little bit. Remind him it's just football. Make sure he's seeing what he needs to. I thought their pressure and how things went early, he struggled with. He was a little fidgety. When he finally calmed down, you started to see him play the way he's capable of. But he's a freshman. I got to remind myself of that. I got in his tail a couple times. He needed it, but also talked him through a couple things. I thought he responded well and clearly did a lot of really, really good things. The last pick, ball bounced off the wide receiver's hands. Competitive play, those things are going to happen. The screen that got picked off. I mean, I don't know if I've seen a play quite like that in recent years. And just a guy running right through the screen and not even seeing him. Really, the ball was thrown before he even showed up. It's a good play by the safety. Glad we got that one back. The one that we've got to learn from is the late interception down here where we could have had a chance to go ahead. We can't have that. Freshman or not, he can't do that, and he knows it. And it's he's probably not got a lot of sleep. I don't tell him how many times he's watched that play. As well as the rest of the game, but it's my job to settle him down. I'm trying to do that. I think we've got a good communication going. I feel like we're headed in the right direction. If we can get all the other pieces to go and protect him a little bit better, feel like he can do some solid things for us and give us a chance to win.
Coach Patrick Mayhorn, one more time. Does anything change when you have to go this far for a road game when you're going all the way across the country?
It's tough. I mean, we don't have the ability to travel a day earlier, which you'd like. I mean, just cost effective. It just doesn't fit our budget. So we've got to go the day, really a normal travel day. It's tough. The time change, the early start, and it's all stacked against you. So we've practiced in the mornings all year. We've played in the morning already. We'll facilitate our practice to make sure we have an early morning later in the week before we go. But there's not a lot extra that we can do. We're not in a position, as I said, to go a day earlier and acclimate. We just there's some things that are outside of our control. So we got to go find a way to make it work.
Drew Hyde again. It seems like Briggs and Faison they only got 3 touches between the both of them in that last game. Was that more of a schematic thing, or are you moving towards Booth as your starting running back?
Well, Briggs has been hurt, and he hurt or at least tweaked the ankle early and it didn't feel like he could be effective. All the different things we were seeing in terms of pressures was a lot for Faison. He's just still getting acclimated to what we do in our offense, and there's a lot. And protectionally, we were concerned. And then Booth was playing extremely well. So when you got a guy that's got a hot hand, you kind of go to it. I trust Rodney to have the right guy out there for the situation. And I think he's done a really good job of having the right guy out there when we needed him and the guy that's going to do the best job. And I thought, he got it right this week. Devon had a great game. We got better as the game went on, and he gave us a chance to win. He put us in a good position.
But again, in the beginning of this season, you talked about how you weren't sure what to expect from this team as far as record goes. Now you've seen 4 different games. Looking forward to the rest of this season, looking at what this team's capable of, do you feel like that there's a chance that Utah State's going to be bowl eligible, or do you feel like that's more of a? I mean, what can we expect from this team? What do you expect from this team moving forward this season?
Well, what I expect is for them to keep fighting, and they are, and keep getting better. We could win every game. We could lose every game. This is a team that's still growing and learning. If we can grow up and play better in the first quarter and show some consistency, we can win every one of these. There's not a team on our schedule that we can't beat, and there's not a team on the schedule that can't beat us. We could have played really, really good football, even better than we've played in the first 4 weeks, and had the same schedule. You played arguably 2, maybe 3 near top 25 teams, if not top 25, and we've got 40 new scholarship players out of the 85 on our roster. I mean, we could be here regardless. What they're going to do is continue to fight. We're going to keep growing them up, keep teaching them, keep giving them every ounce of energy we got. And I'd like to think that we're going to get on a run of wins, and we're going to make a bowl game, and we're going to be competitive in the league. I mean, that's our goal: be our best every week. We've not been that yet. First step is to be our best, 1 week at a time. That needs to be this Saturday. But in terms of what our expectations are, be our best every week, and that gives us a chance to win. And every decision, every move, every rep, every game plan, everything we do is built around that. It is not by any means lackadaisical or without thought. The results don't always come the way you want. Growing up a team with this many new bodies is going to take much longer than any of us want, especially me, and I know the fans as well. But this is bigger than one game. It's bigger than one season. We've got to get this thing solid for the future, and that starts today. Started when we brought all these dudes in here. So I hope that answers your questions, man. Our expectations are to win every week. But we also know the reality of how tough the schedule is, and that we've got to play our best. And if we play our best, it gives us a chance, but that's all it gives us is a chance. We can win them all. We can lose them all. And I expect us to find a way to fight and claw and be bowl eligible and be in the conference race. If I expect anything different, I don't need to be the head coach here. Anything else, guys? Appreciate everybody that came out. The environment was unbelievable. The students, again, were ridiculous. We appreciate it. We feed off of it. Don't give up on them. These dudes are working. You saw that. They're fighting. Don't give up on them. We're going to continue to get better and make everybody proud. Thanks.
Al Lou. I'm a big baseball fan. Watched your dad play and all that kind of stuff in baseball. What do you remember about that? You were pretty young when I guess he played in someone. Do you have much remembrance of baseball?
I remember a little bit. Yeah, I was super young when he was playing, so I remember a couple games out at the White Sox Stadium, but not too much.
To go along with that, though, what influence has he been in your athletic career and in your life and things like that?
In the athletic aspect of everything, he just always tells me to do my best and always just make sure that I'm taking everything serious and just executing and having fun. And then in life, just take it one day at a time. Sometimes things won't be going the way you want them to go, but just go back and go to work every day.
And Andrew Hyde, KSL.com, seemed like that interception against JMU was kind of a turning point for your team. What did it mean to you to go out there and on all three plays of that drive, come up with those stops and end up turning the ball over for your team?
It was, I mean, it felt good, but without the other 10 players on the field doing their job, I feel like without them going and doing their job and executing, I wouldn't have been able to go make the plays and just with the help of them. Without them, those plays don't happen.
Plus, another one, Devin Hal Lewis and the KBNU Radio and Logan. So, what was the game like for you in your mind, and as you played?
Hey, Al, you're cutting out. Can you repeat the question?
Me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was just going to say, what was the game like Saturday night for you to go through to have the reel down and then all of a sudden the comeback and all that? What was it like for you to go through that and play?
I would say in the beginning we had a slow start, and then once we got things rolling, I felt like on the defensive side, we just had a good game plan, and we just were able to execute the plan, and we started getting stops, turnovers, and we just started to slowly inch our way back into the game.
Jason Walker with Cashville Daily is obviously good day individually for you. How big do you feel like the running game was overall in terms of helping start that comeback?
We had a slow start, but at halftime, we flipped that switch. So it was very huge, especially how good of a defense they are. It helped keep our offense alive.
On Al Lewis, KBNU. Can you hear me now then? Okay.
Yes.
I am always the guy that wants to know your background, how you got here. Give us a little bit of your life sketch as far as getting to Utah State, why you decided to come here. What's your career been like up until now, until this year?
Well, my whole career, I kind of been like the underdog, you would say. I always been to like smaller schools. Plus, I went JUCO, so a lot of people always like talk down on me and everything. But like, I just kept my head in the football. And the reason why I came here is because I believe Coach Anderson. He's a good dude, and the whole staff showed me love with my son and my girl. So I just felt like they were really down to earth. So I knew this was the right choice.
The group of running backs, obviously, you guys look like you're interchangeable, can play some, but how's that situation with all those guys?
Right now it's kind of shaky. A lot of us are kind of shaky right now. But when we're all healthy, it's fun with playing with them. We're always in a competition, a friendly competition. So right now we're just hoping they get healthy so we can get back to our little game.
From me quickly, what did you feel of McKay Hillstead as the quarterback, as a freshman, getting in his first start after he played against Air Force? What's your feelings about him now?
He played amazing. Since Air Force, I realized he could ball. So this is my first full game with him, and I realized he could do everything that Coop could do. So we just got to keep his confidence up right now, and right now he's doing pretty good.
On Jason Turner from the Herald Journal. I apologize if this has been asked. My phone kind of cut off for a couple of minutes, but James Madison was only allowing 22.7 yards rushing per game. So how good did it feel to prove that it could be done against them? You went over 100 yards. How good did it feel to prove that? I mean, if you guys stay the course, that their defense can be run against.
Well, I got to give all my credit to my O-line. Them boys go to work every day. So without them, there wouldn't be no football. So I just appreciate them. But other than that, it felt good, It's like any other game to me, to be honest. I hope we had put out the win, but we didn't. But we just got to stick to what we know.